Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside the Booth. I'm your host, Dan Arena, and over here we have. I don't want
Tabitha.
to. I was pointing my fingers like this.
Right? Cover all bases.
Don't forget, everybody, Tabitha also has her own channel. Go check it out and give her a subscribe at Dreaming Tabitha. What's it? YouTube and Twitter and everything
and Etsy.
else.
Yeah.
So, go buy her stuff.
Yeah, buy my stuff.
Cool stuff. All right. So we want to say hello to R2, who's been in here a little bit longer than everybody else. What's up, R2? And we got Avery Cruz. We got TD. And who else? So far, that's it. And then Tabitha's also messaging back and forth well-being on
I'm also in the chat. I'm everywhere.
we got Mrs. R2.
Mrs. R2.
What's up? So yeah, cool.
And the sketchy guy.
Sketchy guy. If you guys haven't noticed our logo change on Twitter or on Facebook, Sketchy Guy is the one who actually did the sketches. So that's a lot of fun. And we'll have him on the show sometime this coming month in September. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. We get to see who he is, what he does, how long he's done it, stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun. We got Force of Light Entertainment.
Hey, ladies, guys. I'm going to assume that's Michelle because she said it's always Michelle and it's never Natalie.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like me with Inside the Booth. It's always me and never my brother. So my brother sometimes, but not quite, not often enough.
He'll be back.
That's right. He'll be back. That's right. And then that's it. Oh, and R2 says, Little Spider-Man says, yo. All right, so I'm guessing his son. Hello, Little Spider-Man.
That one that makes cameo appearances whenever R2's on, yeah.
That's right.
I knew it. I knew it was Michelle. That's right. I pay attention. That's right.
Yes. And you're welcome, Sketchy Guy. Thank you for what you do. So, all right. So tonight, everybody, reviewing this beautiful movie, A Knight's Tale. Sorry about my light shining off of everything. Ray, you want to see my light more than the movie? Right there it is. Right there. Blinded by the lights. Okay, so I guess before we get really, really started, don't forget you can buy a mug on www.insidetheboothtv.com /shop, or you can just go to the tv.com and then then search everything on top, see and watch our stuff.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Fun movie, yes. It is a fun movie.
It's such a creative movie, yes.
R2, thank you. Vanquish that like button, everybody. Down below. Subscribe and ding the bell. Ding, ding. Uncle Mike.
Want to ring the bell? All right. Ding, ding.
Hello, Uncle Mike. Want to say hi to you? Oops. Clicking buttons. I'm going to stop clicking buttons for now. All right. So, yeah, you can also not only get a mug, but you see this beautiful do-rag? It's really a neck gaiter, but I wear it as a do-rag.
I'm telling you, it's a thneed. You use it for so many things.
It's a thneed, that's right.
Goes with your Grinch theme in the background.
Goes with my Grinch in the background there. Yeah. I also have, now, none of you probably know this unless you follow me on Facebook, but I have a costume of this guy right here.
I saw that picture. I did. I'm like, Dan's the man. He just does everything, doesn't he? There's nothing he won't do.
That's right. And I bought all that stuff from the Salvation Army, and then I just kind of put it together. And then obviously the face makeup was a little bit tougher, but
I would think, especially with the facial hair, that would
that
doesn't sound like fun to clean out or to apply.
Yeah, it was interesting. Next time I'll probably just like shave the mustache, leave this part though, so I could.
So it looks like fur.
So it looks like fur. Yeah,
that's
cat
dedication right there. Dedication.
Yeah, it was fun. Lots of fun. And if we ever do a Dr. Seuss review of any of his movies that have been out, I might actually dress up as the Cat in the Hat just for entertainment and say, special guest, Cat in the Hat. Dan's not here this time.
I'll dress up as the manager dude from the Lorax, where it's just like the arm. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole time. My hand will be like doing things. That's how creative I'll get.
Yeah, well, you got make sure you got to have a glove on, right?
That's right. I mean, I love Dr. Seuss growing up as far as the stories, but I'll be real with you. I hated the style of the characters. They creeped me out, except for the Sneetches on the beaches with the stars upon theirs. But everybody, all the human, I don't like the fingers, and I don't know. Growing up, I did not like the style. Now I don't mind; it doesn't bother me. But I don't like it.
Right. I love the style. Heart grew 2 sizes bigger. That's right.
An enlarged heart usually means something bad. Hey, Maria.
Do you look like Cat in the Hat?
You do look like Cat in the Hat. It's the beard.
It must be the beard. Yes, right. And that must be why I look so good in that costume, because
Well, it's realistic fur is what it is.
That's right. That's right. It is. I'll have to now post something on Twitter so you all guys can see it.
No prosthetics.
Nope. None whatsoever. My nose isn't that big, so it works. Yeah, Maria's on. Hey, everybody. All right, so I guess let's get into it. A Knight's Tale, directed by a guy, acted by some people.
Right. Humans.
I
we
did have it
from
up
Earth?
on my that's right.
You
I
never
did have
know.
it up on my computer, but I took it down for some reason. Don't know why I did that.
Distracted.
Yeah, I got distracted.
I don't recall. It was made in 2001. This is something I do know.
Yeah.
I was a preteen back then. I didn't see this film when it first came out. I was probably in my early 20s when I was introduced to this film, and I really liked it because it's just so many things are unexpected in this film. Like, I think it's the first time I'd ever seen a medieval film that had this twist to it. And if you've seen the film, you guys know what I'm talking about and I've also posted that on Twitter, where I was like, it has music from Queen in it. It has music from David Bowie in it and others. And it's just like, what?
And the guitar riff in the beginning.
They're opening it up with "We Will Rock You" or whatever. It's like, what am I watching? Because I'm a big fantasy, history, medieval, Renaissance kind of person, which you may have recalled if you ever seen our other video that we did on Ever After. Be sure to click on that whenever we're done here today. But I really like films like that, and so when I see a film like this and I start hearing music from, I say current, I'm not necessarily, obviously, the 80s and 70s and stuff like that. It's not current, but you know what I mean? Like this, century or last century, takes you kind of by surprise. You're like, it's like, what am I watching?
Right. Yeah, but it was a cool thing that they tried to do. Movies are not that They don't try new things anymore these days. They stay with what's safe. They don't go out of the box and be like, well, let's see if this will work or let's see if that will work. I'm glad they did it in this movie because it worked.
I'm trying to think of any
Yeah.
kind of film that comes nowadays to mind. Maybe in the last, I don't know, 6 years that was made that's anything like this with the music, and I really can't think of anything.
Well,
I guess it's kind of the reverse when you have these action-packed films and all of the sudden they're playing something from like Beethoven in the background. They did do that, wasn't it? Is it in Spider-Man where they have the cameo scene with Stan Lee and he's in the library listening to music while the catastrophe is going on in the background. I guess that's maybe something similar to that. I don't know.
That's so funny. Let's see what TD says. Early 20s, huh? So you're about a year ago.
I wish. Well, no, I don't really want to go back to my early 20s. No.
I also remember this movie. I was just in high school. Well, not just in high school. 2001, the end of the year of my 11th grade. Yep. And also this movie came out kind of the same time-ish as, The Patriot, and a lot of really good movies came out back in 2001. You had Gladiator. I think that was more 99-ish or 2000-ish. No, 2000. Gladiator. But still kind of same timeline-ish type stuff. And these movies were pretty good,
Gladiator was 2000. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And A Knight's Tale was, one of my favorite movies. I liked Heath Ledger from that one teenage movie that he did, 10 Things I Hate About You.
You. I've never seen that.
That was like the first Heath Ledger movie I saw, and I go, oh, this actor's pretty good. I like him. Now, 10 Things I Hate About You is not like the best movie ever, but, it's decent, I guess. But this movie
I had
really
seen
good.
him in The Patriot, and I didn't know or didn't really think about him.
And The Patriot. Yeah.
It wasn't really until I saw the Batman movies, and then my brother introduced me to A Knight's Tale, and so it's like, oh, that's the guy. And both my mom and I were like, that's the guy.
He played Joker.
I believe my mom's words were, well, he's actually very attractive without all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Heath Ledger's also Australian, everybody. And I know this is going to be a little off topic, but pray for the Australian people over there.
Yeah.
They're having a rough time. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, somebody's being a tyrant over there and trying to make everybody do things that they shouldn't be doing. Australia used to be a free world, basically, like a free.
They said that
country.
Australia was the British Texans of the world.
Yeah. they cheeky.
Yeah.
So yeah. So many comments coming in. I don't know if I can read them all.
They're just saying stuff.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad you guys are saying stuff. I'm saying stuff too.
Just to quickly summarize, they're just saying stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so in the movie you got Heath Ledger, Paul Bettany. Everybody likes him, right? Vision. I really liked him in this movie. When I saw him in Vision, I go, "Oh my gosh, I know who that is! It's Paul Bettany." And then I was like, I don't know if he's that good as a superhero character, but that's okay. I mean, he does a decent job. But I like him in more gritty type movies. This movie is really cool.
He has that look. If you ever seen him in like Priest or even The Tourist, like he just has these piercing eyes, and that's a little bit lost when he plays as Vision. I think because of the color scheme of his face, he looks a little bit friendlier with those blue eyes, but when he doesn't have all that makeup on, he looks pretty stern, let me tell you what.
Right. Ricky says, keep up, Dan.
Keep up with the stuff.
with the comments. I don't know. I'll look at it in a minute. Let me finish talking. This is my show. I want to talk.
Oh, here's the tyrant now.
No, right. We got Rufus Selwell. He was Count Adamar, the bad guy. He wasn't really. Can you consider him a bad guy, or
I
was
would
he
say
more
he
of
was
like
probably
an antagonist?
the antagonist of the film. Well, he
Yeah.
was a bad guy. He cheated. He cheated.
Okay, right. He did
Cheaters
cheat.
are bad guys.
Cheaters never win.
That's
Remember that, everybody.
And if they do win, it's because they cheat, and that's not fair.
That's right. Vision was Jarvis. Jarvis, the voice of Paul Bettany. Yes, of course.
Right.
Well, that's how Vision came to be, right? Because
Right.
used his voice and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, and then we got Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk. Oh man, I love him. I think he's great.
Who's Watt, and then you got Roland, who is Mark Addy. So that's as far as I'm gonna go for actors right now. What's that girl's name?
Shannon something.
Yeah, Shannon. I can't pronounce this name. Yeah, I can see it. Sossamon. All right. Samsonite. Samsonite. Shannon Samsonite. And then you got Laura Frazier. Okay, so that's good.
All right.
I didn't want to leave out the ladies, because this is an all-white cast.
Not necessarily, because Shannon Sossamon is part Hawaiian Filipino. So there's our diversity for the
the British Fred Flintstone. Yep, Mark Addy, Roland. Yep. So he was Fred Flintstone.
Hey,
I did
Dex,
not.
Glad
I
you
didn't.
woke up.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, woke up because I had so I would stop and say
I love our dedicated
Thank you,
fans.
Thank you.
I do.
I'm so glad you had to go pee so you could say hello.
Right. We're glad your bodily functions are working to their capacity.
Again, off subject, I think John Goodman was a better Fred Flintstone, but that's my opinion. So, yeah. When they made that other movie, the Flintstones, what was it called? The Rock Vegas or something. I was not interested in it. I was interested in the one with John Goodman. Have you seen the one with John Goodman? Okay.
Yes.
And I never seen the one with Mark Addy as Fred Flintstone either, because I wasn't I wasn't interested in it. It's just the way it is, I mean, Viva Rock Vegas. Thank you.
That was the one. Halle Berry was in that too, wasn't she? Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one. She was the secretary that was bad and then turned kind of good.
Right. You don't really see Halle Berry in anything much these days, which is a shame. She's phenomenal.
She's okay. She was in another movie with Heath Ledger, but it wasn't like a decent movie.
With Heath Ledger?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Well, I don't know why I said another.
That's why I was confused. I was like,
sorry.
Man, like she was in a lot of movies, but I don't.
Sorry. No, Halle Berry was in a movie with Heath Ledger. Something like that. Monsters Ball. Yeah. It's not that great of a movie. It doesn't have any good moral sense to it. So you might not like it, Tabitha. Just letting you know.
I always, if I'm not sure, IMDb. So
there you go, check it out. But yeah, anyways, this movie, A Knight's Tale, the one coming back to what we're supposed to be talking about, I think was a great movie. Did it have some flaws? Yeah, a couple little bits and pieces, especially for photography wise, but at the same time, you don't notice it too much just because.
I'm looking forward to hearing more details about that. You've got me curious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe I should wait then until we hit cinematography. But yes, maybe we should. So let's talk about the plot. All right. The plot is, Tabitha, do you want to talk about the plot first, or do you want me to?
I will allow you to go first.
Okay. The plot the plot is where this young boy, William Thatcher, well, you really don't get to know quite a bit about the plot until a little bit later on in the scenes, because then you get flashbacks. So basically, young boy, the father wants him to become something, tells him to change his stars. In the beginning of the movie, you don't really kind of know that, but you do know that these three guys, they need to eat, basically, and the knight that they're with died. He got hit by a lance and died. You know,
I like how you built that up. Three guys need to eat, and a knight dies.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going, Dan?
The knight died. So what they did was, it's called a lance. Duh.
Right.
Yeah. Better be a. What'd she say? I'd rather be a little girl with a flower, a silly girl with a flower, than a silly boy on a horse and a stick, or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's where Dax Morgan, not Max Dorgan. Okay. Anyways, everybody, it's a little late for me tonight. Yeah, I do need something, a little pick me up. I've been home all day with the kids, and I'm just. Anyways,
it's a quality you can count on, people, every time.
That's right. Every
Sundays
time.
and Tuesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Will it change if we ever? What would my mental issues change if we started at like a 6 o'clock or maybe a morning time? Probably not. Just because I'm just that way, my brain gets all boggled for some reason. I don't know. Picking on myself a little bit, and it wasn't as funny when it came out as I thought in my head. Okay, anyways.
So the plot, guys, these guys need to eat, and so unless you're born of noble blood, you cannot compete in the tournaments that are either with sword fighting or the main event, which is the jousting, where of course the two horses go and face each other, and the knights try to knock each other off. And so the one guy, William Thatcher, decides to just take the armor off of the knight and become a knight himself. And whilst on the road, he meets Paul Bettany's character, who actually is supposed to be Geoffrey Chaucer, the famous poet and writer. And and so basically they enlist to kind of quickly summarize, they enlist his help to make Will a proper knight with papers and things like that. And while Will is competing, he catches the eye of a lovely young woman. And of course, there's the bad guy who also thinks that he should get the woman because, well, he's special. And the competitions increase as Will tries to keep his, facade up. But he needs to beat this guy because he is the reigning champion, and he will not feel successful until he, obliterates this guy's reputation. And in the end, the guy gets the girl.
Yeah.
They don't eat the knight. They don't turn into cannibals, unlike what Dan was leading up to.
I was leading up to that? Oh, I didn't know that.
Was a subplot there.
He was dead.
I was in the director's cut.
Yes, Dax. Alan was one of the reasons Firefly was so amazing.
Yes.
I'm
First,
sure.
you're inevitable betrayal.
To be honest, I haven't seen the Firefly series. Sorry.
That's so good.
All right,
So
I
good.
guess I'll watch it then sometime.
So good. Yes.
I've seen a lot of stuff, and yet I've seen not a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh,
There's just so much out there, so much stuff out there.
Space Cowboys, man.
Sweet. Let's see
I am
here.
a leaf on the wind. Watch me soar. We will call
Alright,
it this. Sorry, I gotta focus. Hang on, gotta focus.
I'll give the plot a point because I did enjoy this movie when I was a teenager. I enjoyed it growing up, and I still enjoy it because I watched it again yesterday. So, and this one is actually the special edition. I really don't remember why or what the difference is between the special edition and the non-special edition. Might be just the bonus features.
It's probably going to be the bonus features.
But that's
Excuse me.
that. So then, what do you give the plot there, Tabitha? Since you helped me finish talking about it.
I would give it a point because it's a pretty simple plot. But
yeah, it is,
you know, sometimes the like they say, if you're going to go simple, as long as you execute it, you know, well or perfectly, however you want to word that, then, you know, mission accomplished. It didn't need to be an exorbitant kind of plot. And so I like that about this film. Very basic plot. Guy wants to become something and does with the help of his friend.
Changes his stars. That's right. Like his father told him.
Right. He believed he could, so he did.
All right. Plot's got 2 points. So far this movie's got 2 points. All right, acting. Take it away, Tabitha.
Okay, I just want to say that in less than 2 minutes, we already see how dedicated these actors are to their characters and the feel of this film, because the opening scene with our main cast there, they're inspecting the knights, and was it Heath Ledger? I think it is. He's got the stuff up his nose, and you're not quite sure why. He's got like cotton or whatever up his nose, and it's because the knight is dead and he stinks. And he takes them out, hands them to Roland, I believe it was, and Roland shoves them up. Like, you see him shove them up his nose. He didn't go off camera and like somebody, you know, like give him another set, and he put it like he took what was in Heath Ledger's nose and put that up his nose. And like I said, that's a lot of dedication.
Good immune systems, right there.
We go. Dedication right there. That's the only kind of face mask they had, you know, back in the 1500s. And so, yeah, I mean, it was really good acting, just because you have a good cast, you know, some new people, some familiar people. The funny ones, like the sense of humor worked well, I think, for the type of the film, worked well with the type of actors that they had chosen. I didn't know much about Heath Ledger at the time. I think he was still kind of a newbie to the cinema at that time. Yeah. So, you know, he's got an interesting way of presenting himself, because as you can see in like The Patriot, he can be a very serious guy. But in this film, it's like he's a serious guy, but there are these moments, kind of like these realistic moments, where all of a sudden something happens and it's just funny because it's awkward.
Yeah.
And, you know, that works well. And I do like the humor that's placed throughout there. You know, when the guys in the beginning too, they're arguing about whether or not they should steal the knight's armor. And while they're just arguing about this, in the background is this dude that's been hung or hanged. And he's like right there in between these 3 other dudes talking, and they don't even care. Like, that's just part of life. And, you know, it's subtle humor like that. And then the actors kind of build off of it. I would give the acting a point, because, you know, there were also like the awkward moments between the guy and the girl, you know, where he kind of like a teenager kind of like movie, if you will, where with a young adult, because he meets with this woman and all of a sudden he can't really figure out what to say. He wants to say something, and in typical young man style, he gives her a compliment that's not really a compliment, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
And he's trying his hardest. So I think the acting, they did a really good job as far as, you know, a good-hearted person, which is Will Thatcher, but just can't quite get the words out, and just trying to do the best that he can. And of course, Paul Bettany, he's pretty cool. I think he was still kind of new to the cinema scene. Like he'd been around for a while, but he'd not been somebody necessarily that everybody was looking at that moment. He really grew in the past decade, I would say. And talk about dedication too, you know, I will, you know, disclaimer here, there were some hiney butts in this film. I mean, that's how we meet Paul Bettany's character. And it was just like, oh, that's right, there it is. And he's just hanging on the side of the road. stark naked. I mean, just from the behind, you know, we don't see from the front. And it's just like, and he's just, I mean, like, and that happened twice. And it's like, well, dedicated to the cause. So, what about you, Dan?
Okay. The acting I thought was pretty superb. You know, back in those times of 2000s, early 2000s, I actually liked a lot of the actings that happened back then. Let's see here. I saw something. Okay, Dax. I'm gonna read this real quick. Dax said we need a official ranking system. Just so you know, we kind of do have official ranking system. I don't know what you mean by
1 to 5 popcorns.
by all that, but we do. Our ranking system goes by this. We have the plot. I don't know if you can see my shirt. We have the plot over here. Then we go to acting. Then we go to cinematography. Then we go to the music, and then we go to allegory. So that's what we rank on. So even if we think the movie's bad and all of that, 5 things are good, we would still call it a good movie. Just to let you know.
The more you know.
But yeah, anyways, so there you go for the categories and how we point it. Each category gets a point from each person. Just one, though. It's not like, well, I give it a 5 and you give it a 5, and you know.
Dan's not even happy that we have implemented the half system.
Yeah, no, I don't. My brother started that one, and my brother started that whole half point because he's like, I like it, but I don't. So can I do half? I go, I don't really. Fine. So yeah.
Oh, my niece
Okay, so he
watching.
says, "Oh, your niece is watching."
Yeah.
Hello.
She's a
Hello,
year.
occasional niece. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's a year.
Well, she's my
cool.
full-time niece, but she.
Your occasional niece. Yeah, but each one separate score and add.
Oh yeah, that's he's just
Totals
said
up.
underneath. That's what he was talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's what we do. So there you go. All right. So yeah, I did like the acting. You know, obviously I like Heath Ledger. I love his acting. I might have to say this Australian actor is a little bit better than Chris Hemsworth. Don't kill me. Oh, I actually think Heath Ledger is a little bit better looking too. But you know,
what makes you? Well, from a man's perspective, that doesn't count.
Oh well, sorry. Anyways, but they kind of have a similar look to each other. You know, I mean, they're both Australian, so they must have something similar. To
You and I are
right?
both American, Dan, but I don't know that we look anything alike.
Well, you know, we both have dark hair.
Dark hair. And don't you dare brush your face when you refer to me and say
we both have dark hair.
You were like, we both have dark hair. I'm like,
dark hair. There we go. How's that? I'll just take my do-rag and bring it up a little bit. Look at that.
Now, what specifically do you think it is that you find more interesting or appealing of Heath Ledger versus Crimson? I'm just curious. Not that I think
his acting style. I don't know. I just like how he gets to that point of like goofiness. His goofiness is more of like a serious goofiness, but then you get Chris Hemsworth, Ghostbusters 2016. His goofiness is like really just makes him look dumb.
Who?
He shouldn't. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Oh. Yeah, he shouldn't act like that at all in any movie, even if it's supposed to be dumb and goofy. He should be more. You know, I don't know. I just think Chris Hemsworth is more of the. Yeah, you know, where Heath Ledger, because he started off with doing like a teen movie, you know, and then even in this movie, he's with his goofy smile and stuff. He just has that aura of like, oh man, you know, he's a likable guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I
something.
mean, I like Chris Hemsworth, but I think I see where you're coming from. I would say that Heath Ledger's probably was a little more refined, even in his young age. I think that like he
Mhm.
seemed to be a more refined actor, whereas Chris Hemsworth, we solely know him for Thor, where it's a pretty serious character, but he does have some goofy moments, a different kind of humor. And
Mhm.
so maybe he just hasn't really experimented with that many films yet. For that. But yeah, I can see where Heath Ledger, yeah, like I said, probably a
Plus,
more
Heath
refined
Ledger
actor.
liked doing more indie type films where
Oh, okay. I
they
didn't know
weren't that popular. Yeah.
that.
Even
Okay.
though he is in a couple of popular movies, but
Right.
he enjoyed the smaller sets and all that stuff. That's what I've read and heard about him and stuff like that. So yeah.
I
Anyway,
agree,
it's not like I
R2.
know the guy.
I
What
agree.
R2 say?
He said Chris Hemsworth is dreamy. I agree. I mean, a lot of guys
I
are,
mean,
but
he is
yeah,
good looking.
he
Good
is.
looking.
Yeah.
I do agree there.
Mhm.
I like Hemsworth's humor in Thor than in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Well, because Ghostbusters was, yeah, I don't know what that was. Really, that wasn't
We've
even a
already
movie.
talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about that one before, and we will talk about it again in November because Ghostbusters Afterlife will be November 11th, and I'm gonna make sure everybody on the team watches that movie so we all can talk about it. So there will be lots of spoilers. So if you don't want to watch that time, we'll let you know.
Oh, yes, we will.
Cam Ray says I was in college at the time. Yeah, and think I didn't like the movie based solely on the fact that she liked it because of Heath Ledger. I also didn't like that the music was it from that era. Oh, okay, wasn't from that era. Okay, I think I understand that.
Well, he
Um.
had a comment before that. I think they were meant to go together. He said, "I've only
Oh,
seen the
whoops.
movie once, and that was when it was on video when it first came out. And my sister, who was in high school, really, really liked the movie because of Heath Ledger, etc. I was a
Etc.
music major at the time, so I probably need to go back and rewatch it with a more mature approach for my judgment." Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we change, our tastes change, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you should check it out again at least one more time. Give it a little. Um, I guess another chance, a little look back at. Anyways, Lady Hawk used Hard Rock as
Dan
its
hasn't seen
sound.
that, I don't think, right? You haven't seen Lady Hawk?
Lady Hawk. No, I haven't.
That was
But you
on my
told me about it.
list. It
You
was.
told me about it. So we might do that one
Yeah.
very soon. Um,
But yeah, I think acting, plot, all that good stuff.
yeah, acting's good. All right, we both. I give it a point. Obviously, you give it a point. Obviously. Okay, cinematography.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say about
You
that.
want
I
me to
really
go
do.
into it? All right.
Yeah.
I liked the cinematography, but it seems like there was a couple of parts, a couple of scenes, especially like in the beginning, that they forgot to film something. So they went and took it from somewhere else that they filmed. Because right in the beginning, right in the first thing that you see this guy riding the horse, right?
Right.
And then you see the lance and he gets hit and he falls off the horse, and that's supposed to be their knight master guy
Right.
that died, right?
Mhm.
But if you look, he's got the little shield on his shoulder with the three birds or whatever it was, the three painting birds, and you don't see that in the next scene when he's dead. It was blank.
I didn't even
And
notice
And
that.
those three, I think they were supposed to be eagles or something.
Okay.
But those three birds that were on there, I guess was supposed to represent Heath Ledger coming out of his baby nest and coming up and rising up as like a eagle, and that's one reason why they shot the horse scene where you see him riding the horse for the first time and his shoulders are kind of moving like wings, you know.
Oh.
So that's what that part was about.
Had no idea.
Yeah. I watched the special features.
Special features. Yeah.
Special features.
I one-upped you last week
Anyways.
when I watched the commentary with Julie Andrews. You've one-upped me today.
Yes.
I don't have special features. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Phil. What's up, buddy? And then, so there was just a couple of spots where it was kind of like that, where they reused something else or they got it from somewhere else. And you could tell. I mean, honestly, if you go back to when we talked about, me and my brother talked about Braveheart, phenomenal movie. But they did that in Braveheart a couple of times. Yeah, campfires, that's right. But they did that in Braveheart a couple of times where when they split the shot, you see William Wallace with his sword running at everybody, and then they split it again and they're running again and he's got the axe instead, and then they split it again and then he's got the sword again. So you know, it's just those little things that I don't know why I noticed them, but I do.
It's interesting to think that you wonder why the directors and the producers don't think we would catch that. Like, that would bother me. You know, to do all this filming, all this money, and they just think, oh, crap. Well, we'll just hope that nobody notices.
Yeah, right, exactly. It splits so fast that you shouldn't notice it.
I guess that's what it is. But.
You know, but you know, after seeing it like more than 20 times, you start noticing a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like when I first saw Lord of the Rings. It was a great, wonderful, The Fellowship of the Ring. Wonderful movie. I bought the VHS, and on the VHS, I watched it and watched it and watched it. Then all of a sudden, I started seeing things. Oh, look, there's a little car in the back that drives, you know. Oh, look at this. It was so...
That? I'm more confused. I'm like, it was on VHS. Weren't we past that?
Yeah, it was VHS first.
Really?
I swear to you. Yeah, I had it. I had it on VHS.
I thought we had passed VHS at that time. Wow.
Well, you know, they probably sold both VHS and DVD because DVD was just becoming popular.
For some reason, I thought it was just like we had. Wow. When you said that, I'm like, really?
And also another thing on my VHS tape was there was this one part toward the end when they're fighting all the orcs, and the main orc throws the shield, and then what's his name's got a duck or something. I forget his name, but it hits the tree, and if you listen very closely and watch it, you hear somebody in the background say, "Okay, now it's coming, duck," you know, and then you see the, you know, like they forgot to cut that audio piece out, you know.
Okay.
So it was weird, but cool all at the same time, you know. And then that's,
I guess every movie has something then.
Yeah, it has something, yeah. Until they go back and make it a Blu-ray disc and they watch it.
Right. Until they George Lucas it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
I was laughing at R2 because he was like, Lord of the Rings was on VHS. What was that, like 14 tapes long? Only the extended edition, R2.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's funny. No, that's good. It was only one tape. Yeah. I don't know why it was only one tape because I did have Braveheart on VHS also, and that was 2 tapes. So.
Yeah, we had that too.
Interesting. So yeah, anyways. So yeah, those are just my little gripes.
Okay.
But overall, you know, I did enjoy the cinematography. You know, the color schemes and everything, and the way it was filmed. You know, another scene that just kind of bothered me just a little bit was in the church there. They had the 2 different camera angles, but then for some reason they stopped using the other camera angle and they just used the wide shot for the rest of it. And, you know, and like that? I didn't really like it that much, only because I don't know, it looked fuzzy a little bit sometimes, you know, when they walked.
It almost looked green screened. Like, I almost couldn't tell if it was or it wasn't because the lighting of it, I didn't think was that great.
Was strange. Yeah. No,
it was strange because it did have you confused. It looked like I said, either like it had been a built set or possibly green screened because of the depth of also like the two main characters. You have everybody else walking around in the background. You've got your candles and your pews and things like that from time to time. But it was actually such a blank and open space. Maybe that's what was tripping me up. I've been to like Catholic cathedrals and things like that when I was in Germany, and there's usually not that much vacant space going on necessarily in such a smaller room. Like obviously if it's a grand cathedral, there's a lot more space just because it's so much wider, but there's usually pillars in the way. This just, it almost looked like a really well-made theater, platform. That's what it looked like to me. It was. With the rest of the movie, that scene was not, as far as the background and everything goes, was not well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, that one was not the best out of everything else. Everything else.
I don't have a problem with them just using the long, the one camera and following them. It was more about how they lit the background that left you kind of like, did they just insert them there? It didn't tie in with the rest of the film. Yeah.
And I think that's why I didn't like that they stayed on that angle, that whole, almost the whole scene. Because in the beginning of that scene, they were cutting back and forth. And then the rest of that scene, they didn't,
Did you see Avery's comment? It's like Lord of the Rings.
What's he got there? Where's that emoji? I can't
Those
even tell.
Are there
those little tapes. Okay, yeah. I see it now. Yeah. And then we got Maria saying, no, it had two tapes.
I don't
You had
doubt
two
it.
tapes. So you probably had the extended version. I did not. I had the theatrical version. So
who watches the theatrical version of Lord of the Rings anymore?
I mean, that's when it first came out. I mean, come on, And right when it came out on VHS and DVD, I was like, I had to get it the same day. So so that's what I did. So but then obviously you find out about the extended versions, then
Oh, we only ever watched.
You just you had to just buy them. I have them in the little green booklet, or like the little booklet looking. It looks like a book.
Yeah, I have those too.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah. And then I found out that they had all three of them together in one thing, and I was like, I wanted that, but I didn't.
No, I like the separate ones because, like I said, they look like books, which goes with the. Like I said, I always talk about the aesthetic of my room, so I like that.
Right.
And I see that Phil is going to college tomorrow. Congrats and good luck, Phil. Don't let them brainwash you. Be yourself. Trust your instincts and get good grades and look both ways before you cross the street.
That's cool. So good job. Good job, Bill.
You got this.
Proud of you, buddy. You got this. That's right. And don't forget to keep watching us though while you're in college.
Right. Don't forget about us when you're, at college. Just don't watch us when you're in college.
Tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends. That's right. Oh my god. It's funny. I liked some of the cinematography as well. Yeah, the biggest gripe I have was the church scene.
Was that scene, yeah.
Because it was really strange.
But I'll still, I'll still give it a point though. I'm just saying, letting everybody know I'm still giving it a point because I did enjoy the rest of it. So okay, so go ahead, keep talking.
I think it's amazing, with really any film, that has the
don't drink the Kool-Aid.
What's it called? The fight scenes. I think we've upped it way too much these days, but it's amazing what the shaky cam can do to really intensify the scene. Like I said, I think these days, like you watch like a Fast and Furious movie or something like that, and there is no time for your eyes to concentrate on whatever's going on. With this, I feel like it was well balanced, the shaky cam scenes and going back and forth.
Yeah, and kept it straight some of the time too. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get whiplash and all that stuff, like you do in the
use the shaky cam basically in the scenes where they're jousting, right? I think that's basically where they had it.
Or like the sword fighting scene.
The sword fighting scene, right? Okay. It kind of made you feel like you were there,
Right, which I know is the purpose. Yeah.
Right.
and a lot of it was smooth sailing from there. What's interesting is like in the beginning when they've got, you know, Queen's "We Will Rock You" going on and everybody's in the stand and they're clapping or thumping or whatever like that. I thought it was an interesting choice of camera movement, as it was kind of like panning around. Not only was it just panning, but they were like tilting it smoothly while they went.
Right.
And I'm not sure if maybe that just kind of helped build like a more whimsical, fun going kind of element, you know, or atmosphere rather. You know, again, you kind of walk into this film, you're sitting there expecting a normal medieval film, if you will, and you've got Queen going on, and then you've got this kind of like, you know, this movement with the cameras like this, and you're like, interesting.
Like
all right, what is
a little bit.
Yeah, what is this sensation? So I think that was, again, it was the only time I think that happened in the film, that was used. And so if I'm thinking that might be what the purpose was for, and just another kind of creative brilliance right there. So I mean,
it's about creativity.
There was a lot of good,
I like
interesting.
what Dak says here. What'd you think about the shot? When he unhorsed, what is the name?
What's his name at the end?
Where is we all spinning around?
Yeah, you remember when he falls back? I always wondered, and maybe you can explain that to me, Dan, because it almost looked like maybe that's what they did, but when he was lying down, you could tell there was a big distance between him and the ground. He wasn't actually on it. And how do they just put him on something when they do that? And what
I think that was like I think it was supposed to be like not a dream, but you know, like when you get hit hard, you get knocked out of it and you don't know what the heck's going on. I think that's what they were trying to convey there. So he wasn't really laying in the dirt or in the sand, because
kind of
he's
floating,
conveying that he's floating, if you will. And what they probably did was, what I'm guessing, is they had like something underneath him that held him up a little higher and kept his head from touching the sand, you know, and made it look like he's floating there, and then lit him probably a little bit hotter than the ground. Underneath. Yeah.
That was an interesting thing. I've seen that in very few films. And it's always a little bit mind-boggling how they do that or why they do that. But I have to say the composition for different scenes in this movie were really good. Like even at that scene when all of a sudden their little heads, you know, are popping up. And they did that even like in the beginning. And also, again, when you've been measured. When the guys are arguing and they've got, you know, the guy hanging in the background, like it was just really good composition to, again, bring some whimsy to this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would give a point for cinematography too.
Yeah. Now, what did Randall say to William Thatcher there? He's like, we got nothing. And he's like, nothing. Oh, that's nothing. You know, he points back there and he's like, and nothing's going to get, is that where it's going to get you when you do all this weird stuff or whatever? I forgot exactly
I don't remember quite exactly.
But you know what I'm saying. That's what I think about when you talk about that scene, is every time he points over there and says, that's nothing. That guy dead, hanging in a cage. That's nothing.
They did such a good job with this movie. I love it.
They did.
I
had a good comical aspect to it too. I will fong you, yes, Dax. Yeah. I loved it when Watt would always say that. If you do this or you do that, I'm gonna fong you. And you could tell a couple of times they kind of got out of character and started laughing. Just the way he was, I'll fong you until your entrails are your extrails, or your insides and outsides, you know. And then he goes, and like he didn't know what else to say. Lots of pain, and then you see. I think that was where Paul Bentley was kind of like got out of character a little bit.
Well, I didn't realize that Alan Tudyk's character did that when Will was in the stocks, and he was like, you know, don't touch him. This, pain.
Lots of pain. Yeah, right. He's yelling at the crowd. I don't know why, but definitely it's funny. Yeah, the Edward subplot. Yeah, that was a good subplot. Honestly, you know. And then he telling Heath Ledger, you know, we're not quite what we seem to be. And then he decides to knight him and tell everybody that William Thatcher actually has ancient royal blood.
Right. And be like, sure he does.
Yeah, right. Sure he does. Maria got to go. All right, see ya, Maria. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Yes.
Catch tomorrow, great stream. Yes. We'll try to. I'll try to come on tomorrow. Right? You guys stream tomorrow, right? I don't remember. I think they do.
Her and R2, right?
Yeah. Hope to see you this coming. Well, she says Thursday at 8:15.
Oh, right.
So maybe it's Thursday instead of Monday. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was Monday. But yeah, we'll come. We'll come check it out sometime, or at least I'll try. So yeah, so we got cinematography all taken care of. Now the music. The score of the movie, the music of the movie. I enjoyed it. At first when I saw this movie, there were some parts of me that was like, I wish they didn't do the whole, Queen and all that 80s music. But, then I grew to like it because it was just like, well, that's kind of the style they're kind of going with, it's supposed to be from back then, but they give it like a more modern twist, pizzazz to it or something. Yeah,
and I think go ahead. Well, I think you're saying it correctly there with you have to grow to like it just at the beginning because again it takes you off guard, and so at first your reserve kind of goes up there, or you're like.
It actually makes you what's interesting.
And then
let me just say
like
it makes you feel like you are at a what are those festivals?
Renaissance Festival.
The Renaissance Festival. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're at a Renaissance Festival.
It does.
Because everybody's like modern, but yet you can still walk into the olden feel to it,
Yeah.
And you're
they've got their turkey legs and they're selling their paraphernalia on the side of the jousting arena. I love it.
That's right. Exactly.
I love the joust.
And that stuff is fun,
we try to go to the Renaissance Fair every year. So yeah, it does. It has that feel like you are going to the Renaissance Fair or watching a Renaissance Fair. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. So that I think, I don't know if that's what they were trying to get at, but I think that's why I kind of like the movie, because I always liked the Renaissance fairs. I know I call them festivals, but
either way,
right? It's still festive.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I think my shirt's crooked. I'm looking at myself and like the things are. Oh, well, whatever. Sorry.
It's your camera.
It's my camera, everybody.
Not you,
Give me a new
camera.
I need a new camera. I don't care. Give me a new camera when I get a new computer. That's when I need a new camera. All right. Anyways, so that's about it. So I will give it a point because I did like it. They actually did have a score with it too. If you listen, there's.
Oh yeah, it seemed like the more intense scenes had more of a throwback as far as way back, a more traditional kind of sense of style for the music. In the more serious scenes, although in some of even the serious scenes, it kind of had like this like 80s rock music, well, not rock music, that rocky-ish music kind of as an undercurrent, but nothing flamboyant, which again kind of lent to this style of this kind of almost like a teen movie, again, because of this awkwardness between William and Jocelyn, the main female character. They were like awkward teenagers, she was like, come get me, come hunt me, earn my attraction. And he was like hunter. Right, and he was like, well, I obviously like you, so here I am. And she's like, no, you gotta earn me, I want poetry and I demand it right now. So
he's like, your breasts are above your neck. What? That is real poetry.
And she was like, would you care if I were ugly? And he's like, yes. Right. And then
he's like, wait a minute, no.
And that's what I'm saying, where it's got, kind of goes back to that acting where that's an awkward but realistic moment. And so, but with the music, I kind of got like this kind of teenager vibe, even in the music, but it wasn't necessarily a teenager film. And so it had an interesting bounce around with the music where you between, 60s or 70s and 80s music. It's kind of like light rock, and then you've got some like classical. It was just
like classical score type of thing, you know.
Yeah, it
Hans
was
Zimmer type stuff, you know.
I have to say the dance scene, kind of took me by surprise when, they have this traditional Renaissance-y kind of film and everybody's just doing their delicate, dancing. And all of a sudden David Bowie comes on. And I'm like, what? But it was good. Yeah,
Did I really say that wrong, Dax? I probably did. I messed it up. First, I want to say simping for myself. Yes, Phil, I am. And Dax said, above your neck, Dan, what kind of women have you been dating? If that's what I said, I'm totally sorry. Like I said, mush brain right now. Meant to say below the neck. I mean, most of you understood, right? You understood me.
The anatomy, much like the prepositions, were out of place. I didn't even catch that, Dax. I am so glad that you did.
Well, he did say that on Twitter that he wouldn't be able to make fun of us if he's sleeping and he doesn't come on live. So
that was so good.
Yes, that one was good.
Hey, it is 2021, Dax. You just don't know anymore. I've got a weird visual now. Right.
Jake from
State Farm.
From Farm State, it says. So Jake from Farm State, did we mention the bumping dance scene that was fire? We did? Did we mention that?
Yeah, he said there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Dax. Thanks. So anyways, we'll give it a point. I'm sure she gives it a point too. Hey, look, we got light flares, everybody. We got sorry, but if her boobs were above her neck, I'm running the other way. I don't care. What year it is. Oh, you did break Tabitha. I'm trying to calm down myself.
My abs hurt. I've got tears.
Laughing so hard, she's crying. I love it. I love that emoji too. I use it all the time.
R2's like, I have to double check my wife.
What was I wrong about? I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm laughing so hard, my ears are getting red, I'm sure. I can feel it. I don't know, can you see it?
I don't know, my ears feel warm too.
Yeah, they're very warm.
My whole body feels warm right now. That was, oh my gosh. That was great. That was great. Good. That's what a great way to start the week. Nice, hearty laughter.
Laughter is good for the soul, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Make sure you laugh enough. If you haven't laughed enough, come watch this stream. I just fast forward to where I said something about the breasts above the neck. But that's not what I meant.
But you have to have the chat on while you're doing it, because
that's true. That
elevated.
You got to read what the
50%.
Oh man, I think I need some water.
Josh was like, "That's a new T-shirt idea."
A new T-shirt idea.
No, it's a neck gaiter idea.
Neck gaiter. Oh man.
I don't know what you're taking at college, but maybe brush up on some anatomy just so you know that we're not messing you up.
Oh man.
Well,
I got the best episode of Inside.
oh my god.
Yes, I'm glad you know, Phil. All right, now that I'm all sweating and hot,
Allegory.
yeah, the allegory. I think I'll be all right.
Excuse me.
All right, I give allegory a point.
We're not even going to talk about why we don't trust ourselves to say anything.
There's a lot of things in this movie that's parallel to the Bible, and to our walk and friendships and our relationship with Jesus and everybody else. I don't know if I am going to say much more because, like Tabitha said, I'll mess it up.
I didn't say that. I was like, we might.
And you'll laugh so hard you'll fall out of your chair again.
Yeah, I had to dismiss myself from the stream there for a second. I was doing some ugly laughing there. Archie's like, I can't believe Maria missed out. Yeah, we gotta tell her. Like,
Yeah,
she would have
left
died.
right at the right spot.
Pivotal moment there.
She shouldn't have left just yet, huh? Oh man.
Okay, so I'll try to go for allegory. Like Dan said, there's a lot of the possibilities here for this film.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm gonna go with the fact that Will's stance on I can't even think of the words anymore. His integrity, valor, standing up for what is the right thing to do, even though it might not be the easiest thing to do. Because in the end of the film, it gets discovered that he is not of noble birth. This is before the king or the prince decides to say that he does have noble birth, and so he gets dismissed from the champion or from the jousting tournament. And yeah, exactly. Had to be careful there. He gets dismissed from the jousting tournament, but then he also has a possibility of getting put in the stocks and then killed. And so they're like, "You need to run, Will. Just run." And she's like, "I'll love you either way." And his friends are like,
"Yep."
His friends are like, "You need to run," and he's like, "I don't run." He's like, "That's not what I do," you know. And even knowing what the outcome was going to be, he still held on to his integrity, which, you know, paralleling
That's
with
right.
today, I found that to be just wonderful, just something refreshing to see. It's like a sense of decency, a sense of, like I said, chivalry,
Patriotism.
honor. Yeah, to even to yourself, or what your purpose in life, or your I can't think of the words right now. My brain's fuzzy. But, you know, he stuck with it no matter what. It was like, I have to show these people dignity. You know, I have to go out there, and I will not be known as somebody who ran away from my problems, even though I know what the consequences are. And I mean, right there already, again, you look at it in today's world, and we almost refuse, in many countries, if not all, we almost refuse to give up our luxuries because we don't want to pay the price for either decency, acceptance, you know, freedom, all of these kinds of things. And so it was just like, yes, we need some Will Thatchers these days that will stand up for personally for what you believe in and what is right. And no matter what the outcome is, people need to see that you really mean what you say when you say, I stand for something, or, you know, the Bible says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. And I think that's applicable here, is that he was like, yeah, I'm not a knight, but I'm a man of integrity, and I'm going to go show them rather than running away.
Yep.
So a point
and
for
he took
Elm.
on, and he took on the responsibility of, even though he kind of, you know, even though he wasn't really supposed to do what he did, he took that responsibility and said, you know what, even though I'm going to get arrested, I'm going to take that responsibility
Right.
myself.
He knew what he did was wrong, but he knew that there was going to be a price to pay if he did get caught. And he was like, all right, well, this is what I chose to do. You know?
Yep. And he stuck it out. And then the prince was like, okay, yeah, guess what? He is a knight now, because he knighted him. And he's like, okay,
Right.
go back and finish your tournament. Yes, Dax, integrity is rare in today's world. That is for sure. You know, and that's something we got to keep up. You know, as good men and women, we need to keep that integrity. You know,
it's going to cost you something, and that's why most people are not willing to pay the price for integrity, because it means humiliation, or just humility in of itself. It could mean rejection. It could mean less money. Some people, we've totally forgotten that our names
like in Australia, you just go to jail. I saw this video where they stuck this person in the back of a vehicle, a police vehicle, but it looked like a dog cage that they stuck her in. It was crazy. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, you look at America, and its history, and it's always cost something, whether it didn't matter, what era, what color, what race, what gender. There were people that had to almost be made examples of in order for people to realize, hey, this started a fire, and kind of like that idea, like Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. Like, that's it. And we do not have that mindset. And I believe that kind of in this movie, that would be kind of what Will Thatcher would be doing. It's like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. And if anybody can take this from me, I am no longer a free man,
Yeah. And Dax, that's something we can't do, is run away from our faults, because eventually it catches up to us anyways. So if you stand in front of it and you face it, and you take on that responsibility that, hey, I made my messes, but I'm willing to try to fix them, then that gives you character and integrity, And
it makes you somebody.
Even if the other person doesn't, even if that other person doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, or they spread rumors about you, it doesn't matter, because you know who you are, So
and people will see it. Yeah,
exactly. So
So I give a point for allegory. We can also say, since Will Thatcher also he did know some elements of the Bible, kind of going back with our fun-loving moment there. Maybe he should have studied the Song of Solomon before he talked to Jocelyn, maybe to get some pointers on what to say to a woman.
Exactly.
Oh, your teeth are like sheep come up from the wash. Oh. Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, and obviously, man, we refer to usually as a male figure, but using that term, you came out a man. Exactly. You are recognized like a John Wayne kind of man. Like you take responsibility for your actions, and that's no longer something that people do anymore either.
They even, I mean, you look at this whole woke stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
A man wants to be a woman. That's just strange. It's not even. They haven't dealt with their past. That's why.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
Well,
how
and
to
they're
be a
not
better
content.
person.
They don't know
they're
how
not
to be
content.
content. They don't realize that they have a
confused.
purpose for
Yeah.
why God has made us a certain way. I mean, I don't know about boys, but I know a lot of girls grow up wishing that they were boys just because of the fact that, you do. A lot of girls get told, stay clean, whereas boys are rough and tumble and all this kind of stuff. I know that was, I loved football growing up and things like that. But, it's number one, it's a phase it's just a phase. Yeah. And another thing is too, like, it didn't keep me from getting dirty because I was a girl. Like, it wasn't like my mom expected me to be crystal clean, like perfectly clean, all this kind of stuff all the time. It was just like you learned when was decent time to be dirty. And these people, we also, whenever you omit God from the equation, chaos ensues.
Yeah.
This is historically speaking as well.
Yeah, that's so true. That's true. So, yeah, crazy. So, I guess I'm going to add up the score, and everybody knows.
Did it get a perfect something?
We got a perfect 10 out of 10, everybody. Even though we had a little gripe with the cinematography, a little bit here and there, we still gave it a point, and we gave it a 10 out of 10. So,
in your heart of hearts, you wanted to give cinematography a half a point, didn't you?
Yeah, that half a point was slipping up a little bit, and I was like, yeah, no. The majority of the movie was good, and you know what? I probably would have, if I didn't film something and I forgot it, I probably would have done the same thing.
I was gonna say we're sitting here,
sneak it out, sneak it, try to sneak it the way it needed to be done. And I've done that a little bit here and there with my movie that I never put out or finished editing.
What movie is this about? What's the plot? Can we all watch it and then rate it?
Well, you can't watch it right now. It's not fully edited.
Well, just use the scenes that you use from another scene and insert.
Yeah. I did start re-editing back in like 2013 or something, and then I kind of stopped. And but I'll put a link on Twitter for everybody to watch them.
That'd be cool.
The movie's called One World 2024, and I made this back in 2000.
You've predicted the future, haven't you?
Yeah,
what's going to happen?
must have been.
Are women's necks going to be out of place?
Yeah, I made this movie in 2002, 2003, so that's why we named it 2024. But yeah, obviously, I didn't get it done, and it would have been better if it was out way earlier.
Well, if you wait just a little bit longer, it'll be an outdated, it'll be going into the past.
Yeah, exactly. Phil says, just realized Dan has the Grinch in the background. Yes, I do. The Grinch was something I made for my wife for the library. The feet were broken, so then I fixed them, basically. It's made out of foam board anyways, so I could always make a brand new one if I wanted to. So this movie, One World 2024, is about this government called the Federation takes over the world. They're tyrants, basically, and they rule the world. And then there's these three guys who come together to start a rebellion, basically, and to come against the Federation. And then they get signed sign treaty, stuff like that, and
That's cool.
start. What is it called? Bringing people on their side, their
A
team,
rebellion.
whatever. Yeah.
What?
You recruit. There you go. They
Oh,
go and
oh,
recruit
sorry.
people. No, I couldn't think of the word. My brain is
Okay.
mishmash right now. So they recruit people to come to the rebellion side, and I guess a lot of them do. All 50 people that were in the movie.
Is that how many people
actually,
you had in your film?
I'm actually surprised that I've got about 50 people that
That's
filmed
impressive.
this movie with me. Now, is the graphics good? No, I filmed it on VHS camcorder, one of those big things. So the quality of the footage is not that great. But other than that, it's a decent. I think it's a decent film. We got a lot of our bits and pieces from got a lot of ideas from Star Wars.
Cool. Well, you could always remake it maybe
movies,
one day.
Yeah, I can always. In reality, this is a remake.
Okay.
It's a remake of something we did when we were 14, 15. So
Okay.
So
it's the extended edition.
The extended edition, right? We could always remake it because
I'm really impressed that you were able to get 50 people on board. That's not easy to do.
It was pretty easy for me because it was all high
Really?
school. It was just a bunch of high
okay.
school friends and friends of friends and people that knew somebody. Hey, we're gonna make this film. You want to come over? Yeah, sure. So I mean,
Okay.
it
I guess
like
it depends on the
sporadic
age range, because if you have older people, adults and things like that, they've got schedules that they have to keep, or kids and stuff.
Yeah. No, it was mostly teenage, late teens to early 20s people.
Okay, that's really
movie,
cool
so.
though. That's a good sized cast for a small,
small little town with a small little filming wannabe something or other.
Hey,
I don't know. It was fun.
this.
It was fun to make though. So I should finish the movie and I should probably post it.
That'd be cool.
I don't even remember. You know what? I'll post a link real quick.
I am so glad that it was you that said that and not me, because Dex keeps making more comments, and I'm like, I just don't know that I could live it down. He said the director's cut, the one where the women wear the boobs like hats above their neck.
Oh man, I really screwed that up, didn't I, tonight?
Oh my gosh, it was great though. Apparently, the people loved it. R2 said he made a stop motion movie with his old camcorder. That's cool. Now I have to quickly say though, stop motion, I have great respect and appreciation for the work that goes into it. At the same time, I can't handle it, especially as an adult now. I cannot handle to watch stop motion because it just sets my brain on fire to think about how many times they have to stop that camera to reposition just a little at a time, like with claymation and all that stuff. I can't handle it. It's just I can't enjoy what's being on viewed, because my brain is thinking about what's behind the scenes, and it just
right, but that's what makes it enjoyable, really.
No, I can't.
The claymation stuff, haven't you watched with the dog, with the man, I forget their names, but
I've seen Frog and Toad and all this kind of stuff, Gumby, Like I said, I have a great respect and great appreciation for the people that do it. It's just that I myself cannot no longer handle watching claymation. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I can't handle watching it because my mind is just focused on the work rather than the outcome of what's happening in front of me. Wallace and Gromit.
Slow. Wallace and Gromit. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love them.
It's just my thing. It's I can't watch it anymore because of the fact that my brain just gets so irritated.
Sorry that was took so long, but my computer doesn't know how to do anything when I'm live streaming.
Yes, technology is only good when it works.
Yeah, when it works. So there we go. It's oneworldthemovie.weebly.com. So that was
I'm
that was
looking
like a
forward
free
to
thing.
watching that.
So
I'll
on
critique it with our system.
Yeah. Well, it's not the full movie, so I don't know if you can critique anything.
I'll be like at the end of like the ending sucked.
Yeah. But the
Look,
ending's
there's
not
so many
even there.
questions.
So,
I'm
got
waiting
so
for
many
the sequel
questions.
now.
Yeah.
2025.
So what I got posted on there is like a trailer and a few things that I did go back and put graphics to, like gun flares and blood and things
I'm
like
excited.
that. So yeah, it's fun. I don't think we swear in the movie. I think we say one word. I think it's ass, but I hope it's not that bad.
Have to check IMDb before I watch your film, Dan.
Yeah, I think so. No, but it's not that bad. It's just one word. It's basically, like, get your butt down there. But I don't even know if that's even in any of this right now in that
Director's cut.
website.
Yeah, okay.
But it is going to be in the movie because that's, we said it. So,
Dude, can I just shout myself out? Ryan Kinnell liked my post for our our podcast. Like, that's cool. He doesn't even know who I am.
sweet. Oh, Ryan Kinnell's cool. He's been on the show twice.
That's right, he has. I haven't watched that video yet. You guys be sure to watch that video if you haven't.
That's right. Especially the first one. The first one was more of like a interview or inter-review. The second one was more like, I want to get Ryan on, but then he was like, we didn't really plan it. So then when he did come on, I was like, what do I say? What do I do? I was just, didn't really know what we were talking about.
You didn't know me yet. I could have filled in the gaps.
I know, you could have. It would have been cooler if I knew what we were talking about, and
it helped a little bit. Just a little bit.
It was interesting, very
Cool,
interesting that second time.
But
Would love to have him back on. That would be cool.
yeah, that'd be neat. He's doing a lot of work, it seems like.
Yeah. He's I'm
and taking a lot of flack for it too. But hey, again, integrity. You stick by your stuff, and
that's right. You stick by what you believe in, and you just keep going. Yeah, no, it's cool stuff. It's a good guy. So, anyways, now that we've talked our brains, laughed our heads off, and yeah, I think it's time to say goodnight.
probably
For
Dax
on here
something
a
else.
longer than usual, right? Yeah. Before Dax says anything else. So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, don't forget to check us out on www.insidetheboothreviews.com. Get yourself a mug. That'll always be the first thing. It's a mug. Tabitha doesn't have a mug yet. I'll have to send her one. Get a koozie. Bam, bam. Get yourself a do-rag.
Maybe we'll upgrade the do.
We'll upgrade the do-rag.
You were saying the other night you were looking for merch ideas.
Yeah, that's right. I was looking for merch ideas. So we'll have to.
Anyway, sorry.
And the shirt will say, what's it? Your breasts are above your neck. And I have a little picture of a neck.
The shirt will say, my eyes are down
here. There you go. That'll be a good one. Oh man. So anyways, good night everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. We hope that you come and join us on Tuesday. And we love when you guys talk and make fun of us because it's a lot of fun. So anyways, yeah, have a good night, everybody. Just make sure I get proper credit. Yes, Dax, I will give you credit for that one. Yes. All right.
To be fair, Dan, you're the one that said it. Dax just pointed it.
This is true. This is true. But we'll give him a little credit. We'll say from Dax, making fun of Dan,
anatomy expert.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
No royalties needed. Oh well, thanks you
Good
guys.
time.
That's nice. Yeah. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to share this. Tell everybody else about Inside the Booth.
You know somebody
Because-
needs a good laugh. This is the video, man.
That's right. That's right. I was gonna say if you know someone who needs to laugh, bring them on over. Let them know that they can watch our stuff. And then vanquish the like button, ding the bell button, and you know what to do on YouTube. At least most everybody knows what to do on YouTube. And then come follow us on different various social medias, and then also follow Tabitha on different various social medias. And you can subscribe to her channel as well, because she's got
Yes,
some
you
cool
can.
stuff. And she's actually going to make maybe something cool for a shirt design
Working on.
for us.
I don't know if it'll top
So-
tonight, but it'll be good.
Yes.
R2.
So,
And Phil, good luck with college tomorrow. You're gonna do great.
yes, Phil. Good luck with college. What did R2 say? If you like your laughs like you like your
Whatnots above the neck.
whatnots. Okay, that's a good one. That'd be good to put on a shirt. All right. So good night, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll see you guys.